In football, a good trick play is like a work of art. If you manage to pull the right move at the right time, you win big. But one wrong move may ruin the play, or even the whole game. Here's a list of 10 insane football plays that happened and changed the course of NFL history forever. At number 10, we have the Patriots' reverse Statue of Liberty. If you're a football fan, you probably know that trick plays can either be a trap set to kill the game or an attempt at a miracle. This is why players often need inventive creativity, flawless execution, and precise timing to make revolutionary trick plays happen. An example of this is the reverse Statue of Liberty conducted by the Patriots against the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2008. Instead of faking their pass and handing the ball off to a receiver on a reverse like the traditional Statue of Liberty play, the Pats did the exact opposite. Kevin Falk, who was halfback at the time, faked a direct snap while Tom Brady half-heartedly pretended as the snap went over his head. And as everyone hoped, Brady's Oscar-worthy acting fooled the Jags defense completely. And with his back turned to the defense for nearly a second, Brady waited until just the right time. And just as he got his chance, he turned around and hit Wes Welker in the back of the end zone to give New England a 21-14 lead. And as you might have expected, Jacksonville wasn't able to catch up from there. Up next, the Redskins' fake punt pass. The Redskins' fake punt pass is another great trick play that defined NFL history. The Broncos probably expected that the Redskins would either nail a 53-yard field goal, but what the Broncos never saw headed their way was when Hunter Smith delivered a touchdown pass to Mike Sellers, who immediately broke free off of a wheel route. The play got intense because Sellers had his hand down on the other side of the field, and as a result of this, he managed to get behind a baffled Broncos special teams unit. The glorious 2009 matchup between the two franchises ended with a 27-17 victory for Washington. As you might have expected, the Skins rode that momentum until the clock hit zero. Now at number 8, Dolphins' hook and ladder. Another great trick play was carried out by the Miami Dolphins against the San Diego Chargers. This was known as the hook and ladder and took place in their famous 1982 playoff battle against the Chargers. The play turned out to be one of the highlights of the game despite the acutely disappointing outcome. The hook and ladder were carried out smoothly with only 6 seconds left on the clock, and as the fans expected, Miami perfectly executed the play, cutting San Diego's lead from 14 to a mere 7. The play was carried out when Daniel Harris launched a pitch to Tony Nathan, and it was too quick for the defense to react. Fans were mesmerized by the shot, and rightfully so. This play gave the Dolphins a lot of hope during the game, but apparently it was all for naught, since the Chargers won 41-38 in overtime and the Dolphins had to go home without winning anything. Next on the list, the Titans' fake punt run. This play took place in a preseason game and changed punter AJ Traposo's life forever. And even though he's currently without a job in the league, he'll be forever remembered for scoring on this brilliant fake punt and executing one of the best plays in NFL history. Faking the actual punt would have probably sold it, but no, Traposo wanted to go the extra mile, and that's exactly what he did. He took the ball behind his back, racking up all the style points, and after this, he showed off an incredible amount of speed. It was so blinding that Brian Moorman got jealous from the sidelines. But despite this, fans were wondering why the Titans didn't save this extraordinary play for a more meaningful game. Also, creating a successful trick play in the preseason led to every single one of Tennessee's opponents spending practice time during the week preparing to defend that play. So even though the play didn't directly translate to a victory for the team, the Titans gained some advantage without any major risks involved. Up next, Saints' miracle lateral. As you might already know, a trick play can't be scripted. They're usually spontaneous and full of imperfections. An example of a spontaneous play is the Saints' miracle lateral against the Jaguars. This happened during 2003's River City Relay, and the New Orleans Saints managed to lateral the ball, which helped it escape the claws of Jacksonville Jaguar defenders. And when Jerome Pathon crossed the goal line, it was instantly considered one of the greatest finishes in league history. The game didn't end there though. The Saints kicker John Carney missed the extra point, losing the game for New Orleans 2019. So it didn't have a happy ending that all Saints fans were expecting after that play. But believe it or not, the nightmare ending could have even been worse for the Saints had the Dallas Cowboys lost that week. This is because if Dallas lost, Carney's missed layup would have cost New Orleans a whole playoff berth in the process. Now at number 5, Bears punt return misdirection. Even Einstein doesn't have anything on Chicago Bears special teams coordinator Dave Toub, who is inventively creative, extremely precise with his timings, and has flawless execution on all plays. But he slipped a little when he tried to execute a return in the Bears game against the Green Bay Packers. As you might already know, holding happens on every play, and the referee had to call a meaningless minute grab of the jersey on one of the greatest special trick plays ever. But even though the play had a sad outcome in real life, it was still arguably the greatest design trick in NFL history. Most of the Green Bay Packers were left fooled and confused, and this left nothing but a pitiful punter to tackle Johnny Knox with a lead blocker out in the front. So clearly, this was genius. Up next, Steelers wide receiver reverse pass. The Super Bowl 40 game involving the Steelers in Pittsburgh was full of memorable plays. It was during this game that Kevin Whistlehunt used multiple gadget plays to try and get the Steelers to the big game. He managed a tremendous 43-yard touchdown pass that put Pittsburgh up 21-10. It also gave them a lead that the Seattle Seahawks couldn't overcome during the game. Some other memorable plays from the same game were Willie Parker's 75-yard run and Ben Roethlisberger's touchdown run. Both footballers killed it on the field with their quick thinking and creative trick plays. At number 3, we have the Saints' surprise onside kick. The Saints executed a surprise onside kick play that shocked fans and the Indianapolis Colts both. It's safe to say that this play was one of the bravest things the team ever did. It was Sean Payton who made the gutsiest call in Super Bowl history when he called a surprise onside kick to start the second half. And since they were down 10-6, giving the ball back to Peyton Manning could have put the New Orleans Saints in a big hole that only led to defeat against the Colts. Instead, he decided to create a play that completely changed the momentum of the game. The Indianapolis Colts were not ready, especially Hank Baskett, who was caught off guard when the kick happened. The Saints took a 13-10 lead after that and managed to slay the game too. Next on the list, the Dolphins' fake spike. The Dolphins have quite a lot of spots on this list. This is because the team tends to execute some of the most flawless and creative plays ever recorded in football history. This play was carried out by Dan Marino against the New York Jets. You might already be aware of this, but Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he managed to pull off one of the greatest plays of all time. This was known as the clock play. Down 24-21 with time depleting rapidly, Marino put in some quick thinking and confused the Jets by yelling clock, 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 and signaling like he was going to spike the football. Sadly, all New York's defense could do was stand around and watch the fake spike as Marino stole the W with 7 whole points. It was historic. And at number 1, the Titans' cross-field lateral. It's safe to say that no other trick plays tops the Music City Miracle when you factor in creativity and the context in which it was executed. The Titans were down 1 point with 16 seconds left in the AFC wildcard round against the scary Buffalo Bills. This is when they chose to attempt running a kickoff back for 6 instead of throwing up a Hail Mary. And clearly, they made the right decision. Lorenzo Neal and Frank Wycheck were excellent football players, but both will be remembered by many mainly because of the Music City Miracle and their outstanding play against the Bills. What do you think? What is your favorite play out of this list? Do you have any other trick plays you'd like to add to this list? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.